Today we are gonna talk or make a small tutorial about a very crucial important tool that I think that you all will need to use one day, and it's already been used and maybe you don't know by the Windows and many apps. You also can use it either directly or, as I said, already Windows has been using it since it's already a Windows tool. Today will be like 10 minutes to 20 minutes. I will try to make it as short and beneficial as possible to all of us. Today we're gonna talk about the task scheduler tool. Here it is. Some would say that the UI or the window is a bit outdated. Edges are very sharp, not clean, the tiles not floating, and this UI issues. I would agree, but it does the job at least. Maybe Microsoft doesn't take the care to make it more user friendly, maybe, but the main tasks or the main job that you wanted to do is very simple. So let's get started and talk a little bit about the Windows Task Scheduler tool. It's mainly an automation tool that runs many tasks for operating system or for user-defined tasks or even for app-defined tasks to run automatically whenever a specific task is activated. So in this task scheduler you have like three main things. You have the trigger, and you have the action that is done whenever this specific trigger binded with this action is activated. Also, you have some conditions and tuning and customization and an event log. There is a big thing called in Windows an event log. Part of it is the task scheduler events log. Anything happens in the task scheduler whenever a task starts, whenever a task started the action, whenever the task failed or attempting retrying, or whenever a task have done a specific thing successfully, the Windows event log will automatically record neatly all these events. If you wanna take a very fast sneak peek, the UI also is a bit like outdated. I don't know why doesn't Microsoft take some steps to improve it or develop it better, but no worries. This is the event log, but today let us just stick with the task scheduler. I think that this video will benefit all of us. Either you are a casual user with the Windows operating system, or you are even a casual programmer, this will benefit you. Just bear with me with the coming like 5 to 10 minutes and you will mostly see the benefit very clear of this tool. There is many, I know that there is some or many alternatives. Either you write a script by yourself, or either you find like a third party app, not this Windows tool. But most of the other tools that does what task scheduler does is either paid or doesn't have the same level of low level access to Windows controls and options like this task scheduler has. It has direct access to many things in the internals of the operating system of Windows. Other apps doesn't have all these options and all trigger options. You even can make like a custom query trigger to do a specific thing whenever a specific trigger is activated. It's a bit advanced. It uses an query to search an XML files of Windows via a query script language called xquery. You can look it up. Maybe I will leave a link for the names, the right names. So it's in the core, it's really powerful. At the same thing, it's also very simple if you want to make very simple tasks automated. Like for example, all of us at some point has some app like Discord, for example, and here is our server. Take a sneak peek. If you want to join, feel free. You don't need to join, but for example, if you want Discord to run on the startup automatically without anything in the background, without anything to pop up or something, or any interaction from you, you wanted to run up. Most of us would say that the task manager already has like a startup app and a startup file, that any app that you want it to run, you just put it in it. I would say that you are right, but you know what? Internally, most of it, like 99% of startup tasks, is run via this task scheduler. Nothing else, nothing fancy. Just the task scheduler schedules all these tasks to run whenever you log on or whenever the system boots up. It's just simple. The real benefit here for this specific task, which is to run a program at startup, let's choose Discord as we said, that Discord specifically, for me and for many users, doesn't, or sometime doesn't work at startup, or after you update it for once, it just doesn't start up as you want. You set the task manager to start it up, even if you go through the settings of Discord itself, and you say to it to start at startup. It just sometimes it just doesn't. One simple solution for it is just to set the task yourself. You can set the task to run multiple times. If it fails, you can set that multiple parallel tasks to make sure that it 101% will run at startup, and it's very easy. The task scheduler can be taken in many layers. Like, you can go deep in it, you can use it simply. It's really good to use. I've been using it for like more than 1 year. I think that's enough explanation. Maybe we can go through a real example of a task that as a user have set up. Let's see. One of them is, as we said, is Discord. Run Discord on startup. The status is it's ready. This task has multiple triggers to make sure it will run. Let us see. I set up this trigger, this task to run whenever any user log on or at startup. Optimate in a perfect world, you just need one trigger to run it, but no problem to make sure. So as I said, you have the main the general. Just you specify the name, the description, and some of the main options that you want to use it whenever you are logged on, or anyone has logged in, and other options. There is a lot of options. Maybe we can specify like a very long walkthrough later in a separate video if you want. It's very I'm very open to do that. Also, you have triggers, as we said. Let's take a look of the options or the types of triggers that is present. You can make it on a schedule, like to run in a specific day or after specific hours, at logon, at startup, on idle, on an event, which is a very big option. You can set, as I said, an custom XML query using xquery scripting, or to run whenever any task is already run successfully. You can run another task depending on the status of the previous task. And you have on connection whenever you are connected to a network or something. Also, you have the action that you want to run after this specific trigger is activated. You can start a program, and it's the main thing that you gonna do, because the other options is almost duplicated, and you can make these other options just with the first start a program. You can make the program that you start as basically a script, Python script, bat script, shell script, bash script, as you want. It can be the program, it can be an executable, the program that you start. It can be anything that you want to start, any executable, any shortcut, any script, any exe that you want to run can be run via this task scheduler at specific trigger. Also, a very important thing that one of the main or one of the very famous alternatives in Linux operating systems is cron. It does the same like task scheduler. You can look at the other alternatives, either it's paid or free. I think cron for Linux is free, because Linux is in the open source field and community. So you set the action to start a program, and you just specify the program to run, the full path, and any additional command argument. Maybe you want to start process in the background, maybe you want to start process minimized, maximized, any argument that you want to add that the executable or script that you're running does accept, you can put it here, and you can make a lot of tricks. Maybe we can speak a little bit in detail about them later. Okay, nice. So we have set the trigger, an action to run after the trigger. You can set some conditions to retry to run it. Maybe you can if we here is a nice example. If the task is not scheduled to run again, delete it. Or maybe if you wanna run it multiple times, run the task as soon as possible after schedule starts. If it fails, maybe you wanna restart it like 2 times to make sure it will run. Maybe you wanna run it after specific connection is available. Let me see where is this option. Yes, maybe you wanna run, for example, Discord, as we said, after you have connected to the internet, not before, to make it start like faster or whatever. Another task that I have set up is, let me find it, the push PC matrix. I have a tool, an infamous tool that monitors my PC and the matrix of my PC and temperature of the CPU, GPU, etc. A lot of readings. One of the very useful things that I use the task scheduler for is to push or upload and save this matrix outside the PC. So whenever the PC fails or the drive is broken or doesn't boot up or I can't retrieve this file, those files are already scheduled to be pushed up every 3 hours and at log on of me at a remote repo. So I can access this matrix remotely if I'm not in the home. I can access it if anything happened to PC, to find what's the matrix 3 hours before this happens, so I can figure out what happened with the hardware to fix it myself. Here's the task scheduler, push PC matrix. I have set a remote repo. Let me show it for you. This remote repo is just to save the matrix of the PC pushed every 3 hours. This is the script, the batch script that the task scheduler runs to push my readings. Here is the matrix readings. It's a simple text, but this format is like customly made for MSI. We can show the raw info. It's like a CSV file or a text file, very simple. Here is the date, the GPU clock, if you wanna see it. It's not formatted very good, because if you wanna see it in the right, let me see. Here we are. It's just a simple log file. You can specify to save it as a text, but this is more readable for me. Last and not least, we want to show a last task that I have set up. As you've noticed, I'm using Windows Terminal in Quick Style. Quick Style is a style that Windows Terminal made to stick the terminal like this. It looks cool, not like a separated floating window. This for me it looks ugly. I can use it in Quick Style more. It appeals more for me. The issue here is the startup of the Windows terminal doesn't have the option to start up in quick mode. So in order to do that, I either need to do it manually. Whenever I start it up, I need to go to quick mode and start it, or I can set up a task schedule, in the task scheduler to run it for me and start it up in this quick mode. Just as simple as that. Also, I have another tasks to move, for example, my Discord window to my secondary monitor. This is my main monitor. I have a script to move it to the second window whenever this code is run, or whenever Windows has booted up. I can invoke the script from my terminal, but it's in the task scheduler as well. As you see, it's automatically moved. Maybe you can see a little bit of the window still in the main monitor. This is because the disk code itself can't be smaller, can't be shortened in the width more than that. As you see, I can make it bigger, but I can't make it smaller. This is an issue with the disk code itself. They have restricted this. Also, I can make, for example, maybe I can show you this same task that moves the disk code from the task scheduler itself. Here it is. Its name is move Discord or something. Move Discord window. Let me grab it here one more time and make it clear for you guys. Move Discord. Here it is. I can invoke it directly, like force it to run, but ideally or normally it runs automatically after Discord runs at boot up. So if I want to invoke it like manually, I click at run. Automatically it moves it. This task itself doesn't move it, but the triggers, whenever it's activated, simply runs the script or the shell script or bash script that moves that window. So task scheduler doesn't do the tasks, it just runs the task automatically, and crucial tasks automatically for Windows to run up in the right way. I think this is enough for like a walkthrough in the task scheduler and its importance. I'm sorry if it's a little bit long. It's primarily made to practice my very bad English. Also, it's made for our Discord channel. I promised to upload a video on this topic. Feel free to leave a comment if you have watched the video, and take care. See you soon, inshallah, again.